I inherited a beautiful culture, a foundation for a culture that you set when you started Sabika, a company by women for women. I know the foundation of respect and really honoring people from all walks of life. That was such a solid foundation that you gave me as CEO. And I don't want to paint a overly perfect picture because life isn't perfect. Something that I think about a lot as a leader and CEO. How do you live out that culture every day? And you can do things like put values on a poster, and we've done some exercises like that over the years too. But to me, it's so much of building a culture, and culture is intentional. So some things can happen naturally and organically, but I think a healthy culture is something that is really intentional. And I think that comes from daily interactions that you have with, whether it's internally with your colleagues and employees, and or if it's with a customer or a consultant. It's a mindset. It's how you basically the golden rule: treat people the way that you want to be treated. And I think one of the hardest things for me, and maybe you can talk to this too a little bit, when you find yourself in a situation where the culture, there might be an individual or there might be a challenging situation. And again, you're going to go through these, it's not, like I said, not a one and done thing. You're going to go through ebbs and flows where the culture feels really great, the sun is shining outside, everybody's happy. Another day, a challenge can come, and it's so much about just how you rise to that occasion. But a challenge is too being able to recognize when something is having a negative effect or a person is having a negative effect on the culture. It's a challenging and difficult decision to say, am I going to continue to allow this behavior, or is this really the right fit from a culture perspective in the organization? And how much does one individual more important than the whole. So I think that those are some of the things.
It's interesting that you say this, because to me, when I created the culture, it's a different story.
Yeah.
It came from the heart.
Right.
And I remember me saying, why doesn't she see what I'm doing? Can't she just do the same? And I just expected, if you see generosity, that you know that generosity is not one-sided, but goes on and on and on, or other things. And what you said right now, it's another learning moment here for me, is, yes, it is intentional. And I think that's what I'm seeing when I come in here too, that you understand just because you want it doesn't mean that everybody understands it and that everybody subscribes to it. And one thing, you're right, I learned over the years with some hirings that I did on very high level, that when the culture, and even if it is a culture of the heart, and ours is a culture of the heart and a culture of honest opportunities, yeah. I learned if the culture doesn't fit the qualification of the individual, means nothing. So you're right, it is intentional. No wonder I couldn't get it in as well as you're doing it now, because for me it was always, the heart is right, so it should be good. Yeah.
And like I said, it's a daily effort, and it's not, no culture is ever perfect, and even the strongest cultures have things that aren't, it's a give and take.
Can I say one more thing about our culture? What I find very unique about our culture, it is that we value the least involved of our hobby consultants as much as we value our top leaders, because I built this company on a principle that really came from my parents, where my dad he always said, wait till your sister is 15, I'm going to leave your mother, because, and he left her when my sister was 15. I believed very much from the onset that if you feel good where you are, and if you are valued where you are, and even if you only make $200 a month by working one night, or if you make 300,000.
I totally agree with that. It's a culture of everyone matters.
That's
no matter
what
what role you have, how big or small it is, whether it's in the field, in our consultants as a hobby consultant, or a fire starter who's building an entire organization, they're all valued. And I think internally equally valued. And I think internally with the staff too, you know, that's what I love about the culture here amongst the staff is nobody would not sweep up the floor or feels like they can't go and help somebody else out, regardless of what department they're in. There's just this energy of collaboration, looking out for each other, helping each other out, which is really, really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And even with that, you have to be careful. You know, collaboration is awesome, and we're always walking around here saying, oh, what do you think of this piece, when we're designing the collections or looking at a layout for a book, and what do you think of this? Because it's important to get others' opinions, but at the end of the day, there's one person responsible. And I think when those roles are clear, collaboration is beautiful. When they're not, it can sometimes get a little muddied, but that's really one of the things that I so much value and adopted from you, and what you learned from your father is that it doesn't matter what role in the company someone has, everyone is equally important.
Absolutely. If Betsy wouldn't water these flowers every day, wouldn't look the same.